Guten Morgen, Mr. Maestro. Or simple. David Lynch. It's January 23rd, so lì del penultimo di Ferrari, January 2026. 2026. David, Mr. Lynch, David, this is Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because, and if... Can't believe it. It's a Friday once again. Here in Naples. Today easy clear day. Yes, not totally because also some clouds. At the moment it is clear day, sky atmosphere in general, and it also it's early afternoon at 13 and 28 minutes. 57 Fahrenheit, 14 Celsius. This means it's really cold. Can you see? It's fact cold. It's classic adjective used for the winter period. So sta cosa for essere questo per sia fact c'è una furia sulla stagione sentina so fact teoria per come for essere quelle porte si cade last ma per esame in genere si cade l'esame sarà più non remember no if they follow me and so on if they follow me so that's per esame think a boy so fact to overcome for years si cade autumn now also for the winter overcome and then as he used to be precise December 21 and in particular on 16, 3, 4 and 3 p.m. in Italy, as a some no remember if Corbolo sono buono non suppose indeed, I'm sure. At where si prima di singolo, per esempio, se so si attività si fa propose che è uscito ci si spetta non perhaps fare che si fa me e da lì non si rivolteva la luce for the spring summer the audience fa for the spring so si ci for some agit for the autumn once again ci so già for the season qui sta casicagiti asicagiti di grisa che si mi questa figura sempre effettuata absolutely incomplete. Yes, but no, considering it's winter, it's cold, it's cold, but we should complain, not complain in general. But when I say sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm referring to me, in particular perhaps really for this period, thanks to the fact that for the fact that I don't feel cold, but I feel cold less than the other people, thanks to series of practice, that I follow since some years. I follow since some years is to practice and to which I always try to fight the cold. And when it comes to winter periods, weather periods, I always try to comment which I can explain what I to practice. In this case, this year I wrote it in the first part or the first round of the asterisk. So someone is interested in this first part of the first round of the asterisk. So noi vi totali su practice saranno forse da people. For anything, in fact, I think they feel cold. Another figure out, I think yes. I don't know, this depends on them. I think 90-95% they feel cool. Ovvero in general for me in some way was good. In sia ma scatto sotto, in general I think I can say something just for me it's really good, at least it's simple. I can be free, some machines this. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie Friday. Esce una bella divisa. Esce una bella divisa. Fantastic Electric Blue and White the six, this is the six razor illustrated with the person because as the previous fifth also crashed practically 5 Friday ago, and so since that moment I'm using it. As you know, the previous state listed the previous state with me practically 6 months and more than a half. Yes, I was also considering effect mic speak about the breakfast as previously with 1 day or 1,000 without you better visit Friday, just start to show it that razor to you. This is a new repeat, and obviously it's good because it's new, and only for the noise that my bird list is 30 minutes, so I shave it in 30 minutes. Obviously being new this in one round, so I should you bet once if you just before on to see well. Blue, white, slightly different model compared to the previous, perhaps remember to me, it reminds me the represent the colors. In fact, the fourth was blue and white. In general, perhaps also the first reason for other reasons, and the second, slightly different model. Yes, I repeat. Once again, also this is the sixth reason, the person in general. For this è forte channel con sta roga che sulla porta di Vincent non sono sempre messa a cannorta per sorta oblige mentre vengo buona già si può intesi non c'è 3 minute musica ma so se preso lo so io poi also di serie ci per il gatto quindi ridi after finché tre partecipanti di serie pizza certi before fisicamente fare net 14 Celsius ma vedi pure l'atmosfera ci vedi. Just before today, yeah, beautiful. Those casi in questa scena sono in maniera essere infinitamente non televisivo, quindi sanno in genere questa scena in particolare. Now it's 30 minutes later, it's chiamato means a scena in particolare, in fact, the first thing is that now it's single is when extract with the refrain from a classic Napolitan song, the classical Napolitan song, O Sole Mio, because this thing it's became every to man during last past summer, perhaps someone don't remember, if you follow me, during last past summer, I think, boy, so, Manato sole, più bello mio, o sole mio, sta fronte a te, o sole mio, sta fronte a te, sta fronte a me, sta fronte a te. E si fa capisco questa scena, ripete, se continua a fare sure, questa scena chiamata per not only a beautiful, but need a sublime scena in sense, the dirty thing is that it's impossible, it's impossible, a beautiful day, like it is not to kiss the scena, so che sito? Reaccident in out and see the period change of ours of more than practically yes most months ago, last Saturday October, an hour before, and also the fact that I read Bianun for now let them sense sky for radar practically 3 hours and 40 minutes, yes, or less incomparable with the main reference, we are completely different time. Sorry, we are completely different schedule. Or better, time. In fact, sorry on this thing of the schedule. I think I did always an error or mistake since some time. I think more than 3-4 years ago, since the first time I film with the reports, perhaps also 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, during the summer 2021. Yes, but so any time I explain better this mistake, it's a stupid thing, but it's a mistake, I think. Because the correct term is time, not schedule. Yes, repeating in any case is the comment section to another one of my comments, the comment section to deepen this thing. Well, so series. So from the medical window, new what routine, influence longer ras mix, simple season no cortine senza strombere one, magari in strombere one, so solo birth from the previous cortine, in particular the birthing, and you saw the previous cortine was a beautiful grey cortine with beautiful paint away branches. Ripping all the things, all the passage from in fact the previous cortine to you also things read in mente, since in case read one of my comments in my section, should be quantity the first comment, perhaps first one, si repeat read the comment section, I don't know if you can read, see, notice it, read well from the shot here by me. From it, I think, oh yes, see the longer flowers, green flowers, longer flowers mixed with the plants. Or if not, even better, really better from the set shot Radical's first part of Peter, which Perugia shoot you the weather scatters changer from his classical mythical window, its classical mythical room is adapts on the source of the other mythical room with other mythical window. Or from a broader perspective, also from this other part is a shot similar to classical shot film more than interesting for the previous curtain bit beautiful curtain beautiful intermission perhaps also for the first curtain also with the first curtain if I don't remember exactly this surely the curtain is still in covering major channel one day secondo me time should change it I was saying this shot is also related to the effect both when there is it the shooter and also when there is but more when there is because the effects measure. Now si vede that speech sense also is used for the previous curtain bit before the curtain before intermissions perhaps also in case for the first curtain bit color curtain and also in case I think I remember exactly this don't remember exactly this and also in case now see edit for this new curtain so but 3 bit expression also in case for first time so yes and this little speech or sentence is this but also and always better visible for me in its entirety in this shot at this point mythical legend shot. As regarding una shooter in not visible, but from mistake not visible in the first days last October, but it's important to always important that also today is not visible, and now it's related this picture a little picture sensitive for the curtain also for it, il solare also for it, so I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, it's entirely in this shot at this point is mythical legend shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, NGX 40 PG, PG 635, also in this case, mythical legend shot. Vabbè, questi punti piccolo, facendo riporta essere vendicatura, non sono buone messite. Also myself, Russell Busquets, and finally, I hope you get breakfast. Today it's late in general, also my hours. In fact, when I say late for us, but as I maybe think that's last December 31, in fact, that occasion for the first time, last December 31, 2025, in fact, that occasion for the first time, it's late in general and late for the record, but not at all for my house, it's a kind of normality, make breakfast this hours, this period for me. So, sempre time it's late, but all important is to still fare con record December 2023 to was started in fact breakfast sentence with I started to drink started drinking milk at 10 in part time but it was yes think record this record sembra stesso straccio ma tu repeat a close the record little sooner semi not better say more no than yes they are just rolling just in quarter 13 and 28 minutes. But the important thing is shows I'm set in some way also today for some of the season and really and that's we also say sono most building forward absolutely and as you know since more not so near but also more than 1 year you usually consider that the months passed some months passed yes yes, like practically the I was also thinking like the effect of the razor in fucking Friday and better the X from the razor in particular it was the fifth and also the reports and the beautiful red, black and also white it crashed pratica 5 Fridays ago, or in the week of the 5 Fridays ago, and as slightly in fact more things that can fall in particular this can in fact at the ports Fridays with the port. Ores mattività distribuita nei piro, te promesso che one day or one time sono tempo better su better presidente o devi stare su singles met this pitch and from the shots obviously no se inizia il gioco soprattutto che posso venire massimo sino e fare sarà biscuit sarà mai favorite fact there are many beautiful combos with beautiful biscuits in sia certo finché tu hanno messo nel tab sarà biscuit sarà chocolate chip cookies or cookies chocolate chips. E infatti mi stico questo fatto biscuit mi serve ma in particolare attenzione alle cose red non si sa quanto fatto milk fax su shot non che si ricorda così ma tu sai scrivi shot per questo da shot per continuare da shot nei flasse finché sei monza so si che se lo conosci nei settembre di sono che ci better lo non è quick si finisce now di anzi non sbrotti tu anzi finché pensa in 194 95 60 se lo conosci di pira sono che ci better so since that month that they pattern certe ditte once again in mix bene good news. All'inizio questo tecnico breakfast, su questa bomba, se in particolare a me, l'infezione che si spiega giù, ma tocco il massimo, mania su course, aveva finito per stanza, vedete video. Inizia insieme non so come se tolle di cose breakfast, su me, bomba. Secondo me se sia sfacca, ne farà sia stare da con, dai, ragazzi, per me si è preso posizione. Adesso, un absoluto che serve delle PAM, questa è presa posizione, in genere secondo presa posizione. Cosa? Un'altra presa posizione, mi dirà Italia PAM dark chocolate chip seasons. Fact, I drew a few because they are really super bar. Tomorrow supposed to find if I can't tomorrow what to do leppen. My wife see. Oh, and so you can touch in this moment. You should see a fragment of the sunshine. So this means that we are really close to the fact that it came out. And so now I practically see the direct fact that so you notice in fact it's really near or my head practically really close. And so as you can notice, not only beautiful but sublime, indeed, not only beautiful, indeed sublime in the sense fact, and also I now can practically very close can kiss it beautifully like this is possible to kiss it, so I now I say directly I kiss direct it